Alright, so after weeks of controversy and speculation, Ubisoft has finally given us some news about the new Pro League that's set to kick off in June.
So North America, I think the biggest one, moving to a LAN environment.
And this week we had yet another Valorant tournament, featuring some of the biggest stars in all of FPS gaming. This time, with a real prize pool. And the winners were a brand new team from Gen G.
And the breach ult turns him into a toaster!
And the guy with over 100 million YouTube subscribers, PewDiePie, recently signed an exclusive contract to stream on the platform.
Welcome everyone. 10 years!
And we've got some Fortnite controversy, after a 9-year-old kid was suspended this week for 4 years.
Alright, after Siege Pro League ended on April 13th, everybody was wondering what the competitive future of Siege was going to look like. Well, earlier this week, Ubisoft finally gave us some answers, Keith.
Yeah, I mean, even all the way back to the 6 Invitational, people had a lot of question marks going into this new year of Rainbow Six Siege esports. And it turns out, it's apparently going to be a LAN league in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and if you remember, I interviewed Hyena a couple of weeks ago, who is the Luminosity gaming player. Right, and so both the LG roster and the EG roster didn't know where they stood when it came to competitive Siege in the future. And at least now we have a few more answers as to how North American Siege is going to shape up over the next couple of months.
So North America, I think the biggest one, moving to a LAN environment.
Right, and then you get to do shoulder content, lots of insight into the players.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
So Ubisoft announced that 8 teams are going to be competing in this offline version of Pro League, which will be taking in Vegas, and also there's going to be a Canadian version of Pro League, I guess.
Yeah, Canada's getting some esports love.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're only going to have 4 teams and it's online, but I guess that's cool. What we don't know, though, is how the rest of the world is going to be shaping up. We have a good understanding now of what North America is going to look like, but we don't know about Europe, we don't know about the APAC region. There's still a lot of questions up in the air.
Dark Zero between a rock and a hard place. Is this over? 2v3. Kendrew finds one, and Hyper is there. Na'Vi just need a couple more seconds, and it's done! The lads have done it!
So PewDiePie, who's bigger than the internet at this point, recently signed an exclusive contract with YouTube to stream on the platform. Keith, are you surprised we haven't seen this yet?
Yeah, well, I mean, we all know there's been this race over the last little while. Everyone's signing streaming contracts everywhere. And, I mean, PewDiePie's just the latest. I mean, I'm sure he reeled in a lot of money. But what's important here, and, I mean, I think it's not exactly clear from some of the news reports, is that he's signing this contract for streaming, not to continue making videos on YouTube, which he was already doing. This just means that we're going to get PewDiePie streams on YouTube.
Yeah, so before this, he was streaming on a platform called DLive, which he signed to in 2019. And to your point, we don't know how long the contract is for, and we don't know how much money he's going to get paid, but you got to imagine it's a lot.
Welcome everyone. 10 years! 10 years! My channel just hit its 10-year anniversary.
In Valorant news, we recently saw the biggest tournament to date. It was a collaboration between T1 and somebody called Nerd Street Gamers. And Keith, we saw some big teams and some big players go at it for this thing.
Yeah, I mean, Valorant esports kind of hardly exists, right? We're still in closed beta. But this was a pretty dope event. T1 put up an actual prize pool. You had a team with Shroud and Hiko on it. You had the actual T1 team with AZK and Brax. Then we had Gen G, a team that was formed basically before the tournament. And they took down, like, the whole thing.
Yeah, we also saw the debut of your boy Sinatra with the Sentinels roster, and while they didn't do that great, it was cool to see them compete. And I mean, Gen G winning a $20,000 prize pool for a game that's still in closed beta, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, one of the highlights for me was definitely getting to see Sinatra at least compete with some of the best out there. That was pretty cool. But the highlight of the tournament has to be that insane Hiko clutch.
Headshot. No match.
Oh my god!
Dude!
You're actually fucking hot.
Oh my.
Okay, so we have some giant Overwatch news. In a statement posted on Wednesday, the Vancouver Titans have announced that they've released the entire roster. And I mean, Keith, this is something that we've been kind of hearing about for a while now, that there might be issues with the squad.
Yeah, so this is obviously one of the most renowned rosters in Overwatch history, going all the way back to Apex and Runaway. People love these guys, and now they're completely broken up. Now, amidst COVID, they obviously went back to Korea after apparently some back and forth with the organization, whether they were going to stay in Vancouver. But now I guess the straw is broke, and, the whole thing is disbanded.
I think that a lot of people will go like, the Titans suck and they did this to these players and they broke up this team. But I just think everyone was ill prepared. I think the players were ill prepared to handle this. I think the team was ill prepared to handle this because they have no connections in South Korea. They didn't expect to have to be in this position where they were going to have to play in South Korea.
Well, the statement didn't highlight any single reason as to why the roster was released. It does mention that COVID-19 played a huge role in this decision. But Keith, I think this goes beyond COVID. We've been hearing rumors that Vancouver's had problems for a while now.
Yeah, I mean, even going back to last year, right? There was sort of rumblings that there was bad blood between the actual team, Runaway, and the organization. And then there were also rumblings about communication issues. Remember, this is an entirely Korean squad. And it can be pretty difficult for relationships to not break down when you're fully Korean and then fully non-Korean on the organizational standpoint. So it seems like at this point during COVID, the straw's just broken, and the whole team, they're broken up.
Now he and Sato be the last men standing, but they just can't get the job done. The Titans do it. They are going to the grand finals.
Now, we don't know what's next for that Runaway roster. These are some of the most famous players in the history of Korean Overwatch, and they're currently without a team. But we might know what's next for the Vancouver Titans, because ESPN is reporting that they're replacing that Runaway roster with Second Wind, currently maybe the most famous and best roster that aren't playing in the Overwatch League.
There is nowhere for you to hide. The kings of North America have been dethroned in the first week. Second Wind, take the first bracket.
Over in Fortnite, a 9-year-old Brazilian streamer has been banned from the game for 1,500 days, Keith, and people are pissed.
Dude, I'm pissed. That is a ton of days. This stuff has been popular on Twitter all week long under the hashtag FreeXenon. Basically, he was just playing in arenas, the competitive mode in Fortnite. And now Arena has a 13-year-old age limit, but they don't give away any money in arenas. So a lot of people think it's pretty unjust that they're handing out this massive ban for this kid just playing in competitive mode. It would be like if he just was playing ranked in League of Legends.
It is such a massive ban. I get it, rules are rules, but come on. And Pro League of Legends player Robo made the point that Epic Games is like curbing their development of the competitive scene by banning this kind of player. Somebody who's invested in the competitive scene and loves the game, now is just gone.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of big names reaching out on Twitter. You had FaZe Banks, you had Ninja, and then you had Brazilian CSGO players, KNG and Fur. People are pissed about this situation.
Yo, Xenon, what's up, bro? I'm sorry you got banned, bro. They shouldn't have banned you like that, dude. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna hand out a 4-year ban to someone and they're 9 years old, bro, they should have handled that a little differently, in my opinion.
Sticking with Fortnite, we have another teaming controversy, this time with FaZe Dubs, who's been accused of teaming in a recent Fortnite Solos Cash Cup.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know this, there's Cash Cups like every day in Fortnite. Both solos and duos. You can jump in, and if you do really well, you can make some cash. And FaZe Dubs, well, he's found himself in yet another controversy after him and his regular duos partner, they were playing a solo Cash Cup, landing in the same place, not killing each other off spawn, and sharing vault loot. And the community, well, they think it might be a little too convenient that this was happening.
So Keith, we seem to see a lot of this in Fortnite teaming controversies, and I wanted to ask you, why do you think that is? Why do you think Fortnite is so prone to teaming?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a weird esports world, if I'm being honest, right? Like, especially right now during COVID, there's no LAN events, everything's online. So the entire esports community is basically a bunch of kids talking in Discord. And so obviously these kinds of things come up. Even this last weekend in the FNCS Open qualifiers, we had a ton of people literally on Twitch streams coaching people in their event, which is, in that case, not illegal, whereas teaming is illegal. But it just goes to show, like, exactly how much of the competitive Fortnite community is just happening over Discord.
I mean, like, split looting's okay, but like, they're low-key teaming up people. That's kind of fun. That just goes to show this game isn't competitive, and solos, like, the map is kind of designed for, like, I hate to say it, but like squads, you know what I'm saying? These large POI shit like that's gonna happen.
All right, Keith, in our last clip of the day, we have a streamer who regularly plays slots on stream, and this time he came up big, winning 14 grand. And I don't know about you, dude, but I would lose my goddamn mind if that happened to me.
Dude, you lose your mind when someone kills you in Valorant.
Yeah.
If this happened to you, you'd be jumping out windows, doing cartwheels.
I'd pass out. I would
like
probably pass out.
You are screaming through your microphone when somebody walks around a corner and just like 1-digs you in Valorant.
That's very true.
Is that $14,000? Is that $14,000?
Oh my god!
Oh my god.
I wanted to... Oh, fuck. My brain just stopped working.
Dude, it's been not working, man.
Doesn't it have to start first?
Yeah, okay. All right, sick. Sick. Just fucking, yeah, cool.
He said fair to... Nude.
All right,
Fair to nude.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fucking comic genius, it's fine.